All right, everyone, it's time for the weekend edition for Stats Edge Trading, where we go over kind of what happened for the entire week as opposed to just looking at daily charts. So, again, for the weekend edition, the plan is to zoom out into weekly charts, go a little bit slower, so these may be a little bit longer, upload them and give them to all of you guys on the weekend. Again, if you want any of the trading tools you see, if you want all of these charts along with the video and way more charts that I don't go over in the video emailed to you, go to statsedgetrading.com. You can sign up for the email list there. You can also just scan the QR code right here. That will get it to you as well, probably in the description or the bio of wherever you're watching this as well. So statsedgetrading.com for all that goodies. And then also, if you're interested in my trading tools, you can check those out there as well. Those are affiliate links. So you get a little bit of discount on scanners, charting, news platforms, that kind of thing. And that helps out the channel as well. So without further ado, right into it here, starting with Bitcoin on the weekly chart. So we have this anchored VWAP from the all-time high that's been acting as resistance for a while here. You can see the 3 times it's touched there. It's kind of pulled off it. So really important anchored VWAP for Bitcoin. You know, you look at this week's candle and nothing really happened last week, the week before that. One of the reasons that I really like zooming out on these charts is, I do a lot of kind of intraday swing trading and I run algos and a lot of quant stuff, but it's always just good to once a week, Friday night, Saturday morning, grab a beer, sit back, zoom out and see the forest for the trees. So again, we have Bitcoin kind of hanging out there. And really, again, not too much has happened one way or the other. I'm still watching. Again, I don't know. I should probably read about what this coin does or something. But I'm still watching this Ocean coin, OCAN. We have an anchored VWAP from this low right here. That's acting scarily as support very, very frequently. And then we have an anchored VWAP that's covering us from the highs here. So that's kind of pinching price together. If we can ever get over that anchored VWAP and close on a week above that, I'm going to probably pick some up. This is all-time high of $3. So, and that's 42 cents. So we talk about a great risk reward, and then you wouldn't have to take very much there at all. Also, for the diehards, which I know there are in Ripple, we have a potential kind of ripple round at bottom, and I've talked about how Bitcoin has spent the last few weeks doing nothing, and this has spent the last few weeks kind of advancing to this upper resistance zone. So maybe we're going to see some relative strength in Ripple. Maybe we're going to see a move in Ripple that we're not going to see or haven't been able to see in Bitcoin. So let's grab over to Trade Ideas here for the equity stuff, and again, where I do all of my scanning, and start looking at the SPY. So on the weekly chart, we have this pretty clean level, right? This is the August high right here. We came right up to that. We're up 4 weeks in a row now, right into that area, and we just paused. Doesn't really shock me. It's not something that I think that's bad or anything. Seeing a pullback, seeing some further consolidation, I think is totally, totally normal, especially after we broke this 420 area that was kind of right here. Took us a couple weeks, month or so to get through that. Once we got through it, we had a nice run above it. We smacked the high of these August highs. Again, wouldn't be shocked to see some sort of sideways consolidation, a little bit of a pullback before we can get through that level. Again, that's how uptrends work. You move up, you get to an area of resistance, you pause or you pull back a bit, and then you move up again, right? Not in a straight line by any means, but what you'll notice when we're going to talk about sentiment is that every downtick now, you're going to see all of the bears come flooding out because it's, what rewarded them for the last couple of years, and everyone kind of has that regency bias. But if we are in a bull market now, you should see all the bears come out on a little tiny downtick or consolidation and then a push higher. And if that is going to repeat, then that's what a bull market is. And we're going to get into, and if we're in that, there's going to be some good time to be had from the swing trading point of view. So here on uranium, we had kind of an engulfing candle last week that pushed us up off of this support zone I have highlighted right here. Then we had a continuation of that week as well. So nice kind of lift up there. on uranium. So, might be worthwhile looking under the hood, some uranium stocks. We also have XLI. You notice I'm not talking about semiconductors and all of that because we all know those are strong. What I spend my time doing is look at the areas that people may not be noticed, that are starting to break out of bases, that are starting to show some strength, as opposed to the trades that may be a little bit more crowded in the semiconductor space, like industrials here, breaking out. So nice little, we had a, consolidation in through here. Take that and just draw a little box. We have this consolidation right here. We spent a number of weeks messing around that consolidation, a little bit of a breakout this week. So again, we'll take a look at some industrial stocks and see if that looks good. And then last from the ETFs is IWM. So IWM, I want to point out the big volume pop. You can see the arrow pointing to it. So we had a breakout of a base, right? We were fighting this consolidation IWM. We broke out at the end of last week. This week we've had some continuation off that, so some good relative strength in small caps, and then also the relative volume in the small caps as well. Really a good sign, to see weaker things starting to catch up if things are going to be strong. So again, the entire list of my watch list is, if you go to the website, sassogetrading.com, sign up for the email, you can get that again emailed to you each and every day for free. Again, there's nothing to sell you guys here, but I just pick out ones that I've either entered recently or that I think, it could be setting up or something like that. So if we go into right here with X4, we'll call it XFOR, we have a clear kind of resistance here at, say 325 or 225, sorry. Every time it gets there, it slams back down, gets there and slams back down, and then gets there and slams back down. We're back on a daily chart looking for these stocks. And we have this anchored VWAP from below that's acting as support. So if we can get a break and we can get a hold above 225, I'm going to buy that. Stop goes under that anchored VWAP. Some of the ones that are looking good, gotta mention NVIDIA, right? Even though we know these trades are crowded, but from a shorter term point of view, to take these kind of trades, super interesting. So we have the anchored VWAP that acted as support right there. I actually took a little bit of a day trade. I talked about this on Trader TV this morning, but I got that NVIDIA as a day trade. I have a little bit left over from that, but I'm looking to add to it on a swing if we can kind of break and hold through some kind of 400 level. TAST is getting close. The simple idea here is this very clear resistance point on Corral's restaurant group. And then we have this lower anchored VWAP that seems to really be acting as support. So if we can get above, really, I think it's $6. I think that's the reason I held off on it. Big psychological level there for $6. Only other one I added tonight so far, and again, if I add more, I'll email those out as well, is this TGTX with an 18% short float. So pretty substantial short float on this guy. And you can see we had this kind of earnings gap, massive run, kind of pulling back and finding support at that anchored VWAP. Little breakout and then pull back. So, these highs are now the highs that I'm watching. If we can get through those around $30 or so and start to push higher, that's where I think that's one is interesting. So again, thank you guys for coming for the weekend edition. Check out the website. And then just enjoy your weekend, right? I'm actually doing this one on Friday night, which is good. So I'll try to upload this and have it all ready to go, or so you'll probably be seeing it Saturday morning. And then get away from the screens. Go touch the grass, go walk outside. Have a good time. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week.